All right, we're in day 2 of verdict watch in Michigan. After meeting for more than 6 hours yesterday, jury deliberations are expected to soon resume in Jennifer Crumbley's manslaughter trial. In 2021, Crumbley's son, Ethan, shot and killed 4 students at Oxford High School. And now, in this first-of-a-kind trial, the jurors must reach a unanimous verdict on whether or not she, his mother, can be held responsible for that mass shooting as well as he has been. Joining us now, CNN's Jean Casares is in Pontiac, Michigan, and with me right here in New York in the studio, defense attorney Misty Marris. We're going to talk to both of you. I'm going to start with you, Jean. Jean, what can you tell us about what the jury has only deliberated for 6 hours, but 6 hours is something, and now they're going into day 2. What do you know?
Well, I can confirm with you right now, we just learned they are deliberating. So this jury has started their second day of deliberations here at the Oakland County Circuit Courthouse. And the questions yesterday, there were 2 of them, and they were really smart questions, Sarah. I mean, they were going to the heart of the material, and they really wanted to understand the legalese of all of this. You know, involuntary manslaughter is the only charge. There are no lesser includeds at all. But the prosecution has 2 theories of involuntary manslaughter. And jurors don't have to be unanimous on what theory they believe beyond a reasonable doubt warrants conviction. They just have to be unanimous that they all believe there should be a conviction here. Well, the first theory is gross negligence. And the first element of gross negligence is that Jennifer Crumbley knew the danger that her son presented to another and did nothing about it. The second theory is a legal duty, and this comes from the state of Michigan, because in Michigan, a parent has a legal duty to not allow their son, their child, minor child, to harm anyone. And if they are aware of any potentiality there, they must do something about it to stop it. Now, both of these theories have one thing in common: foreseeability, that the parent needs to be able to see foreseeability that their minor child could cause injury to another.
Those 2 questions means they are really paying attention to the evidence and the law, but there were also other questions. The judge's jury instructions also played a role in this. Can you give us some sense of what that says about the jury and what happened there?
Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. So Jean laid out with the 2 alternate theories of liability for the prosecution. They have to prove one of them beyond a reasonable doubt in the jury's mind. The jury asked a question about the distinction between those 2 theories and whether or not they had to determine that both applied or one applied. So they wanted to really understand how those alternative theories play out, which is a very, very nuanced question, and shows that they're really going through the elements of each in order to make that determination.
You also talked a little bit about something else that the jury had been asking about, which is the gun, how he got it, what the mother's responsibility, Jennifer Crumbley's responsibility, was when it comes to that.
Yes, this is critical. So one of those theories, the gross negligence theory, relates to how did this gun get into the hands of the shooter? And is Jennifer Crumbley responsible? Did she fail to take action to allow this gun and these bullets to be accessible to her son? So the question, very astute question, Sarah, the jury asked, can we draw an inference from evidence that was not shown in the trial? For instance, how did the shooter actually get access to the gun? There was no testimony relating to that. As we know, the shooter did not testify. And so they asked if they could draw an inference based on that area. So that tells me they're really analyzing that aspect, which we saw so much from the defense relating to Jennifer Crumbley's responsibilities with the gun versus her husband. So they're really grappling with that. That's where that question leads me to believe the jury's really thinking this one through.
She laid a lot of the blame on her husband, who isn't on trial right now, but was expected to be on trial. The jurors do not have to think about that. They only have to think about her role. Can you just lastly give us an idea of just how unprecedented this case actually is?
Oh, this case is the first time that we're seeing a parent being held responsible for the actual deaths in a school shooting. So this has far-reaching consequences, because this opens up the scope of who could be held responsible in a killing. And here we're looking at it in the context of a mass shooter, but it could expand beyond that. So a lot of what we're seeing here in this case, this is trailblazer of a case, and it could have repercussions in the criminal law across the country, not just in Michigan.
And I know that Jean Casares, who is outside of court, has been in, I don't know how many cases she's seen, hundreds of cases. We'll be watching all the details of this unprecedented case, and we will have you back when and if this jury comes to a decision today or whenever it happens. Thank you so much to both of you.
Thank you.
All right, John.